Welcome in, Wednesday edition, Blue Sky Live, here with you this morning. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio. We have schedules. We will talk about schedules. We'll have times. We'll talk about times. Talk about the reactions to times. We'll go through all those things here with you to today. Hit some other topics, including I forgot to mention Paul Mainieri, the new head coach at South Carolina baseball, what that potentially looks like, what that means, who they looked at, and kind of how that search went, how it relates to Ole Miss, some other topics as well. And then as we get started, just all the thoughts, tragic situation overnight in South Mississippi. MJ Daniels, former Ole Miss linebacker, was killed last night. I got a text around 5:30 or so, and then I saw Kevin Bolden, Ole Miss staff member, tweeted about it as well a little after that. MJ, obviously a very prominent recruit out of the state of Mississippi, played in 11 games for Ole Miss in 22 as a sophomore. He's currently at Southern Miss. No more details there, but just, pretty shook thing this morning as MJ Daniels has passed away. Apparently was killed last night there. So just Will Hall, the Ole Miss staff, Southern Miss staffs, everybody, anything that you could think or do at this point to those guys.
Yeah, just a tragedy. I don't even know what to say. I didn't know about it till you came in and told me.
Just senseless in all ways.
Shocking.
Yeah. Got the text, and that's where that is. So we'll bring any information as we find it moving forward. I know nothing else at this point. I got a couple other texts with potentially some specifics, but that doesn't matter right now. The big thing right now is the loss of life, and again, just thoughts to everyone involved in that and around MJ. So we'll get into this. Pay bills in a second. Again, those kind of the topics today. Found out the schedule. It was 11 o'clock yesterday, not 1, but we got the times. A lot of reaction there at rebelgrove.com. So we'll get into that in a second. First, Blue Sky locations all throughout Mississippi, up and down I-55, North Mississippi as well. The epicenter down in Macomb. Got a Subway attached to that. Lunch specials, Sweet Daddy locations throughout Mississippi. Pulled pork, ribs, side items, dessert, and more. So take advantage of those. Wherever you are, let them take care of you with Blue Sky locations. And again, coming to the Clark Ford Studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours, right to the bottom line. There's no hassle. There's no haggle. You get your quote. The rest is up to you. You can shop it around. You can do what I've done. What I recommend that you do, and let's hop into a Clark Ford today, 662-257-1900. Guest join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. Campbell Clinic is in Oxford now, 2608 South Lamar Boulevard, Suite 102, just across the street from the cottages at Hooper Hollow. The Campbell Clinic provides full-service orthopedic care, everything from sports medicine to foot and ankle surgery to spine and total joint care, pediatric orthopedics, physical therapy, and more. To book an appointment, go to campbellclinicoxford.com or call 901-759-3111. Walk-ins always welcome at the Campbell Clinic, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Kind of hard to focus after hearing.
I mean, it really is. Yeah,
I didn't know anything about that. You asked me, did you hear about it? I was like, no. Kind of.
Yeah, it had hit our board, I guess, right after kind of I heard, and then that's where we are. So it makes complaining and arguing about game time seem pretty trivial at the moment. So we'll get through it best we can. First off, I guess a couple things here to kind of lead.
It's a travesty is what it is.
It is travesty.
It's disrespect.
I'll get there.
It's let's see what else did I just hear? It's disrespect. It's
hazing.
It's hazing. Hazing at the least.
Yeah.
Maybe something sinister at the most.
So first off, before we get into the nuts and bolts and the grievances and the applauds, credit to the SEC for giving us these times. Like, this does help everybody in a lot of different ways here. A lot of this is because it's all on one network now. You're not trying to go week to week and everybody fighting over the CBS time and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of that as far as the reason why most places are going to this setup now. And again, most of you guys know it. You've been with us. We've discussed this before, but a flex game means that it can be an afternoon or a night game and get moved in either direction. Just quickly on that, It can go either.
It means
either
it's
way.
going to be one or the other.
Yes, one or the other. It's going to be at 2:30 or whatever. Or it's going to be at 6:15 or 6:30 or whatever those times are. It's in those two windows. They haven't decided yet. So that's where that is sitting as of right now. Just heads up on that. That's what that means. So Ole Miss has gotten a schedule, and for the most part, they know the exact schedule. Is there only two flexes on Ole Miss's schedule? You already knew that Furman was at 6. You knew Middle Tennessee was at 3:15. You knew Wake was at 5:30. You now found out that Georgia Southern's a 6:45 game. They're closing out non-league play. 6:45. We've gotten more into like the 6:15, 6:45s now too. We're not all the arbitrary 0:30 start times. You know what I mean? We've kind of gotten into the 15s and the 45s.
They're trying to stagger it.
Yeah.
So that people can see.
They are realizing, too, that games never go 3 hours, so quit scheduling them at 3 hours.
True.
That's a lot of it, too. So we'll run through this, then we'll kind of go from there. We'll look at who they were competing against in some of these games, because I know there's been a lot of negative reaction from people about some of these game times. I feel like we're only really talking about 2 weeks, though, that sort of set that in a direction one way or the other. So we'll get into who got what games and whatnot in those weeks as we get to those weeks.
The travesty.
The travesty, yes. Should just cancel the season. Kentucky, 11 o'clock. Everyone in their right mind knew that was what was happening. That's not a shock in any way. You okay?
Yeah, I'm getting this.
Okay. I mean, I have the actual. Do you want to do it that way? Do you just want to go ahead and do it week by week as we are?
Yeah, let's talk about how each week kind of got done. I'm not the guy that. Let me say this. I'm gonna preface everything I'm about to say with this.
Okay.
Yes, the fan who goes to games, they don't care about you. They being the TV people. And the TV people are who funds so much of what happens in these major leagues. You're essentially, if you go to games, you're essentially unpaid help.
To create an environment.
They're not paying you, and you're part of the experience.
Yeah.
You're actually paying to be part of the experience. But it is what it is. It's been this way for a long time. And when you make something about nothing but money, and it has become mostly about money, most of the decisions get made on money. And the TV people they have found analytically that they need a attractive game, if possible, coming out of the pregame shows. And if you think about it, ESPN has 2 of those shows now to prop up.
SEC Network and
you've
ESPN.
got College Game Day, and then you've got the SEC, whatever they call it, show.
Yeah, SEC, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah. I want to say SEC Now. That's not right. That's their daily show. So
you've got an SEC show that's all morning that ends around 11 o'clock, and you've got the College Game Day show, which they now push to about 11:04, 11:05, 11:06 to finish. But at the end of that, you just can't go to the Professional Bowlers Tour anymore.
Yeah. No, it's not billiards. So.
You've got to come out of that with a game.
Well,
and you're going up against Fox, who's gone all in on the Big Noon Saturday thing, and they're putting a big game at noon almost every week.
And it's ingrained in Big Ten culture to have a good game at 11. That's what they do.
Noon Eastern, 11 Central, and so they call it Big Noon. And so
it's the reason we're making fun a minute ago, is that it's the disconnect that's happened over the last few years, and we keep talking about this 11 o'clock game, is that people, and I'm not criticizing fans, I'm criticizing media, because they keep telling you the wrong damn thing.
Exactly.
That's the problem. The problem actually is media that are wanting to get in with their pitchforks instead of just telling you the truth.
They want you to love them instead of telling you the truth on this.
Which is that at 11 o'clock, the networks really value that game a lot. It's not JP anymore. It's not Lincoln Financial anymore. We haven't fully moved away from that. That's the problem here, is that we're no longer the 11:21 Ole Miss Vanderbilt because nobody knows what the hell to do with you anymore.
The 11:21 game used to be the appetizer.
Yes.
And it was a separate deal. It wasn't part of a TV. It was
Raycom, for God's sake.
It was Raycom. And so it started, the broadcast started at 11 o'clock, and it was like, hey, let's tell you the games in the SEC today, and here, let's go to this shitty one.
Yes.
It was a different world. And actually back then, it really wasn't necessarily the shitty one, pardon my French, because all the games weren't on TV. But now you have this inventory. They're required to play games, And they're trying to figure out ways to get your eyeballs on. Again, they don't care about the people, whether you're going to Oxford, either Columbia, Starkville, Baton Rouge. If you're going to a game, you don't count. They're trying to get the eyeballs of the people who aren't going to games to stay on their family of networks from what time does college game day start? 8?
8 o'clock.
From 8 in the morning until sometime around 11 o'clock that night.
Mm-hmm.
They want to keep your eyeballs for 15 hours. And to do it, they can't break away and go to the professional women's bowling tour or whatever. That's not possible. They want to put games on that you're watching so that you, who hosts that show now? Is it Reese Davis? When Reese Davis says hello at 8 in the morning from Blacksburg or wherever the hell he is, until they sign off that night, their goal is to keep your eyes on the screen.
Yeah, from introduction to helmet stickers.
Precise. Thank you. Yeah. You did that much better than I did in a very short.
Yeah.
That's what they want. And to do that, they have to have.
So it's two different things. You can be pissed off about the time,
sure,
but it doesn't mean you're being disrespected. It means they're putting you in a spot they want people to watch, especially when it's this. Okay, because you can even kind of go there a little bit if the Kentucky and Ole Miss had been on SEC Network. Hey, they're just kind of hiding this game at 11, whatever, blah, 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 blah. The game's on ABC or ESPN. That's what they've already determined. The game's at 11 o'clock Central Time in Oxford on September the 28th, Ole Miss, Kentucky, 11 a.m. Okay? That's what it is.
Got it.
ABC or ESPN. One of those two channels.
Okay.
You have one of the top 3 most marketable coaches in the country. They want to show him coming out of game day in an SEC opener with a team that's going to be about 4th in the country at that moment.
Because they'll get him on game day, walking around on the field an hour and 15 minutes before kickoff, talking and joking.
Rebels get their first SEC test today, blah, 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 blah.
Lane Kiffin just entered the stadium, and we're talking to him now.
And we'll go there when we leave, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's what they're getting there. What they did with the other games on that day, the afternoon games, there are 3 on this one.
Yep.
Arkansas, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Auburn, and Mississippi State, Texas. So you get Texas's home opener, SEC opener on that day. Those other 2 games, which are not as sexy, although Oklahoma Auburn's an interesting game.
Oklahoma Auburn's going to be the
and
ABC.
You can do
that's going to be the ABC game at 2:30 in the afternoon. They're going to put Mississippi State and Texas on ESPN, and they're going to put Arkansas, Texas A&M on the SEC network.
They are. And then that night, LSU's playing South Alabama, so they don't count. They can do whatever they want.
They literally put it on SEC Network
at 6:45. It already says that.
Yes.
And then Georgia Alabama's your night game.
Of course.
That day makes sense to me.
And there's not one soul who makes those decisions who would have done anything differently. Because they could have put Oklahoma Auburn coming right out and probably thought about it. But they need something at 2:30, and you've got the Kiffin thing. And the last time Kentucky and Ole Miss played at 11.
Frankly, you have it to yourself. There's 3 games at 2:30. You're not competing.
Right.
You actually won it in a picking standpoint.
100%.
They showcased you at 11 alone on ESPN or ABC. So again, be pissed off. I get you frustrated from the actual time.
Sure.
But you're not being disrespected. You're being respected, actually.
I get why fans are upset about it.
Yeah, sure.
I do. I 100% understand. You spend hundreds of dollars to buy tickets. You're asked to spend hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars to buy players. And so the players that you bought, they're out on the field for the first time against an SEC team. And you're asked to come spend a gazillion dollars in Oxford to stay in hotels and wait 2 hours for meals and stuff like that. And then they play the game at 11 a.m. I get why you're pissed. But it's not. You're not being hazed. It's not disrespect. It's a business decision.
Yeah, I mean, and like it's the disconnect. And I'm not making fun of you, Graham. But he goes, "You'll never convince us that 11 a.m. is a good slot." I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to tell you then. I mean, I really don't. I mean, we talk to the TV people. They tell you that. It's just. It's a disconnect that is, frankly, it's not your fault. It's the fault of media who walk around their street telling you how you're being disrespected and it's a travesty. And it's a complete disconnect from the reality of the television contract.
And it's just a change. It was for a really long time, and that world doesn't exist anymore.
At all.
So week 6, Ole Miss plays South Carolina. They're flexing this between afternoon or evening. We do not know yet. It will be at 2:30 or somewhere in that 5 to 6:30 range.
My guess is it's a night game.
Yeah. Either way, I don't know. Missouri, Texas A&M is your 11 o'clock game right out of game day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good game.
It is.
In College Station, Tigers, Aggies, ABC or ESPN, 11 o'clock.
Yep.
An afternoon for sure game is Alabama-Vanderbilt. It's at Vanderbilt. They're going to throw it on SEC Network or ESPN, depending on what they think the Alabama number is going to be for that day.
Yeah.
And then I would assume the ABC game at 2:30 is Auburn and Georgia.
I'll be stunned if it's not.
Tennessee, Arkansas is that day too.
My guess is they'll put Tennessee, Arkansas on the SEC Network that night, and Ole Miss, South Carolina will be the ESPN primetime night game. Yes. So, again, they want you.
Yeah.
And so here's where we get into some of the semantics. There's a couple of teams in the league that have reputations with TV people for getting good numbers on night games.
Yeah.
And South Carolina's one of them.
Yes. You just happened this year to play probably the two on the road that they like having at night versus the day. LSU and South Carolina. If there's a part of your schedule that's unlucky, that's the unlucky part of your schedule.
And they kind of like Auburn at night.
Yeah, they do. They like Georgia during the day. They like Ole Miss during the day.
Is it bias? No, it's ratings. Their goal is to get the biggest ratings possible.
And your colors in your stadium look better during the day.
So that they can get – yeah, I'm not even going to go with the Ole Miss hot take that I told you yesterday when we were talking because it's just going to upset people. Vaught Hemingway looks – yeah, I'll say it. Vaught Hemingway looks a lot better in the daytime than it does at night on television.
Mm-hmm.
It just does.
UCF, Florida, they can play whenever they want to. It's at night.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So, again, Ole Miss, South Carolina, in my opinion, I'm with you. I think it's the 6:30 ESPN game.
Yeah.
That's my guess. We don't know that, though. It's flexed.
So you get to week 7.
Week 7. We'll do this one. Take a break. We'll come back. We'll finish.
All right.
11 o'clock, right out of game day, South Carolina at Alabama. Now, they've got a weird deal here. It's not a weird deal. They have two things they were going to do no matter what starting off. Number one, they weren't going to put a great game up against Texas, Oklahoma at 2:30. So that's part of what has happened to you guys here is that they had decided way earlier, that Texas, Oklahoma was going to be 2:30, not 11.
Yep.
It had traditionally been 11 at the Cotton Bowl always, but now it's 2:30. And you're not going head-to-head on a great game at 2:30. So Ole Miss, LSU's good at night. They like that game. And all of that stuff, that was going to become a night
You can
game.
look at the schedules and see that there's a real chance that's –
I do not believe LSU has a home game at 11 o'clock this season.
They don't.
I think they're all flexed or night.
Yes.
People bitch about it every year. And not just you. The entire league bitches about it every year.
Yeah.
Georgia was livid last year because their only night game was you.
Alabama's been livid for years here lately because they've been getting so many of the 2:30 games that their fans were like, I want a night game.
Well, it's the funny part of that from an LSU standpoint is that it's a lot of – look, LSU's still a neat environment at night, but a lot of it is reputation and we don't change. Alabama's a better night atmosphere than LSU.
Ginger says, I mean, we get it that y'all are happy about it. I said this on the message
really
board.
doesn't have anything to do with that.
I'll tell you this now. I really don't care. I mean, you want to make me happy? Play it at 9 a.m. Because the truth is, if you play at 11, if it's on the road, I go back to a hotel room and work. If it's at home, I get home 6 and immediately come up here, walk in the door, come up here, download the video because I can't get it to go fast enough at the stadium. I come here, download the video to put Kiffin and stuff up, and I just start writing. It's not like I'm hanging out. I mean, I joke about lighting.
In some ways, for us, as long as we're awake at the end of the night game is actually somewhat pleasant because you get more of your day. You don't go to the stadium till 5:30. Like you kind of can watch the 11s and the 2:30s.
I go work out.
Yeah.
I take the dogs for a walk. I go work out.
In some ways, I hate the 2:30 the most because I feel like I lose on both sides. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're kind of geared to go at like 1, and then
I hate the night road games when I go to the games because I have a day to kill in a hotel and I don't have anything to do.
So,
I mean, just being honest.
Again, I think two spots here were already taken. Oklahoma, Texas at 2:30, and then Ole Miss, LSU at night.
Yep.
It is what it is.
And the rest of it, they just squeezed it in.
They flexed Florida, Tennessee. They flexed State and Georgia. See if State has a pulse. Figure out what you want to do with them.
Yep.
They essentially propped up Georgia and Alabama having home games against inferior opponents and just said, we'll figure it out. I don't know. They're going to put Alabama, South Carolina right out of game day because you get an Alabama home game and you just hope people hang around and watch the Tide for a minute in year one.
Who's the Fox? I know you don't know this. Who's the Fox game that day? Because the fact that they're not doing both tells me that they're like, screw it. They knew who was going to be at 11 a.m. on Fox.
It's a Fox game. I mean, it's a Big Ten game.
Yeah, I'm guessing. There must be some Big Ten game on October the 12th.
Big Ten football schedule. Read a couple while I'm doing this, and I'll find out of it.
Okay. Yeah. Pay a couple bills here while we're doing that, then we'll get back to it. Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Are you already retired? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with a personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Seago Wealth Management specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. Whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, schedule a free discovery meeting. See what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. We're also brought to you by Grenada Home Center. They've got paint by Benjamin Moore, Pittsburgh Paints, Farrell Calhoun, flooring of any and all types, stone countertops, whether you're looking for granite, quartz, or anything else. And they've got fancy window treatments from plantation shutters to whatever else you're looking for. It's Grenada Home Center, 1301 Sunset Drive, Suite H in Grenada, Mississippi. Call them at 662-226-3127. This is the week to be signing up your kids for Oxford Park Commission Fall Sports. They've got signups going on for youth flag football, baseball, softball, volleyball, and soccer. Your kids will be able to play all sports thanks to the new format that allows their sports to play concurrently with various sports playing on different nights of the week. So create an OPC account at oxfordparkcommission.com or contact OPC Community Relations Director John Davis at johndavis@oxfordparkcommission.com for additional information. We're having a crossover show tonight. We'll tell you more about it a little later. It's brought to you, at least in part, by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, same great products and services. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer. 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call Southern. 662-429-4429. Speaking of football season, you want to get all your gear ready so you'll have the right shirts, sweatshirts, whatever the case may be for the football season. I recommend you go into the College Corner. They've got 2 locations in the Jackson area, 1 in Oxford. Also, you can check them out online at collegecornerstore.com. And you can call Argent Wealth's 401k advisory services team today. They'll conduct a complimentary, no obligation benchmarking and analysis of your current 401k plan. Mention that you heard about Argent Wealth on the podcast. You will get 10% off of your first year's fees. It's myargentwealth.com.
Yeah. Podcasts also brought to you by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer medicine. Fill prescriptions the same day each month and take care of you. One phone call, they will transfer your medications for you. They make everything easy there, whether it be Tyson Drugs in Holly Springs or G&M in Oxford. Again, that's 662-236-2222. So I found an easy way to go through the Big Ten schedule per week, too, and it's been mentioned each week as well. And it's been mentioned in the stream. The 2 big games that week in the Big Ten, they're big ones. Penn State at USC and Ohio State at Oregon.
There you go.
So 2 premier games there in that league.
So they're going to put one game up against it and try to dominate the rest of the day.
And then a contrast in styles that will be an interesting game. Washington and Iowa that day, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. As opposed to the next week when the Big Ten basically took the week off. It's a complete and utter dog week in week 8. The SEC in week 8.
That's Ole Miss's open date.
Yes, that is Ole Miss's open date. So none of this really matters. What's interesting about that week is they did not set. Well, yeah, okay. They said, let's see, 2 Auburn, Missouri, South Carolina, Oklahoma are earlies. You've got Georgia and Texas as your keynote game. Huge game.
Huge game.
Huge game.
And they're trying to decide whether to put that at 2:30 or play it at night.
Yeah. Everything else just kind of.
Alabama at Tennessee is a pretty big TV game. It's going to be one or the other.
That feels 2:30.
They're going to bury Texas A&M, Mississippi State. Texas A&M, Mississippi State, LSU, Arkansas. One's going to be the 3 o'clock SEC Network game. The other one's going to be the Cole Kubelik SEC Network game.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And then Kentucky, Florida, I don't know. Maybe they're just kind of waiting to see a little bit there.
And then the week that I think has created the entire conversation, I think is week 9. Because if week 9 is a night game, I don't think anybody's even having this conversation right now. I think it's the fact that Georgia's not guaranteed. You have to go at night against probably Carolina and LSU. And then Oklahoma is this early game. Oklahoma and Ole Miss will kick off 11 o'clock there on actually haven't given a channel to it yet.
But it's going
to be ABC.
It's going to be ABC or ESPN, and Arkansas, Mississippi State is going to be the SEC network.
Yes. I see no way around that not being what it is.
And so what did it was this. They're gambling. They look at Missouri, my opinion. And what if Missouri is as good as it was a year ago? This is their big moment right here at Alabama. And then LSU A&M is a game that they want to put on primetime. It just is. It's been a game they wanted to put on primetime for years. I think if they had their way, before Texas joined the league, they were going to convince those two to be the big Thanksgiving game.
Yeah, I think so too.
They'll tell you it's a game that gets big numbers.
But if you have a week where you're frustrated, this is it. Because frankly, I get it.
I do.
You're potentially the game of the day. Potentially. You and Missouri, Alabama are right there.
Yeah, it's right there. I mean, if you have a beef, there's your beef.
I'm wondering a little bit if they think Oklahoma's going to have 3 or 4 losses by then.
Could be. I think it's about Oklahoma versus Missouri, and I think they think Missouri's going to have a better record right there.
Because like I told you yesterday, Oklahoma's schedule sucks.
And Missouri's is favorable.
Very.
And if Missouri is rolling, Missouri at Alabama is going to be a monster game.
Yeah, but no, you have a beef here. This is the one where you're frustrated.
And then LSU, Texas A&M is just in the eyes of the network. It's a primetime game. You can disagree with it. I'm fine with that. But I can tell you it's what they think.
The Big Ten on week 9. Nothing that just crazy sticks out to me. They don't have a preseason ranked versus ranked game that week. Their best game is probably Penn State at Wisconsin. And that's already been set for either a morning or an afternoon game.
Okay.
They flex theirs the other way. They flex 11 or 2:30 for the Big Ten
Have they
games.
said what their big night game's going to be each week?
No.
Okay.
Or at least FBSschedules.com is not showing it.
Got it.
I'll put it that way. So if so, I'm not aware of it at that point. But yeah, this week, and then they're going to bury Auburn, Kentucky late in the day. They're going to bury Texas Vanderbilt in the afternoon. That's going to be 2:30 SEC Network.
Yep.
I mean, I can go ahead and tell you the networks for all those games. They could have gone ahead and put every station next to these. The fact that they didn't, frankly, makes no sense.
Well, it just tells you that
there was no need to.
There's no need to.
Yeah. Don't get caught on your heels off something unexpected.
They don't. It doesn't matter to them whether you're watching ABC or ESPN or SEC Network. They're getting the numbers no matter what.
Yeah. You want to play Arkansas on the road early, so you're doing that. Game's at 11 o'clock. Vanderbilt to Auburn's also an early game that day. Florida, Georgia's your 2:30 game because they don't play that game at night. It just is what it is.
It's the favor to both teams in the city of Jacksonville.
Yes.
That they just
get out of there.
Just do it.
It's very similar to the Red River shootout there in Dallas. And then at night, Kentucky, Tennessee, Texas A&M, South Carolina. It's a pretty dud day, honestly. It was not much of a week there on that one. Well, the Wagon's already made its tour around the SEC. You know, it went to every SEC campus in the summer just to hang out. And I don't know why. I'm still a little confused on what the reasoning was behind that.
Mm.
You just thought the entire league wanted to see your wagon and your schooner, if you will.
I think it was some sort of social media thing.
Was it?
Yeah. Sounds like expensive social media, but whatever.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
All right, so week 11, what do you think is going to happen? It's November the 9th. Florida, Texas is the morning game.
We know that already?
Yep. Florida, Texas in the morning, ABC or ESPN. Games in Austin.
By the way, that previous week where the SEC has a dud week, the Big Ten has Oregon at Michigan and Ohio State at Penn State.
Oh, pretty good.
And Wisconsin at Iowa, which is a good TV game.
It is a good TV game. All right, South Carolina, Vanderbilt's going to be your afternoon game.
It's going on SEC Network at 2:30 or 3 or 3:15 or whatever you want to do.
And Mississippi State, Tennessee is going to be a night game. Those are the three that they've set.
That's going to be SEC Network at 6:30.
And so they have three games here.
The three, well,
Alabama at LSU, which is, again, a huge TV game. They get great numbers. They love that game. They get Oklahoma at Missouri, and they get Georgia at Ole Miss.
Okay, so they're going to use ESPN and ABC here.
Yes.
Because they have no choice. I'm doing the math in my head. Something's going to be staggered head up on those two channels.
Because Mississippi State at Tennessee is going to be the SEC Network game.
Yeah, sure.
My guess is that Georgia Ole Miss is going to be the afternoon ABC game. Oklahoma at Missouri is going to be the night ESPN game. And Alabama at LSU is going to be the ABC game.
At night.
My guess is this is going to be a triple header day on ABC. Florida at Texas, Georgia at Ole Miss, Alabama at LSU.
It's a pretty good triple header.
And if I'm TV people, I'm going, I got eyeballs. I'm going to get them all day. Because I get two huge brands,
I think
Florida at Texas.
You're competing against Oklahoma and Missouri.
Yeah. I mean, look, if Oklahoma's,
that's what you're competing against.
Oklahoma's 7-1 and Missouri's 8-0, well, then that's a completely different game.
Yeah.
But if they're what we kind of think they will be, which is Oklahoma's got some L's at that point, that game loses some of its juice. And if Ole Miss is a 0-loss or 1-loss team getting ready to play at home against Georgia, that's going to be. And if you told me that they flipped it and Alabama LSU was at 2:30 and Ole Miss Georgia was at 6:30, I'd buy it.
Yeah, sure.
But if you made me bet today, that's what I'd bet.
God, that's a good SEC week.
It's huge. Because, again, ABC's perspective is that you get the two huge brands, Florida, Texas. Yeah, I know Florida sucks. It's still a huge brand. You get Ole Miss, Georgia, and what might be the big national game of the week. And then you get that game that for them, it every year has been guaranteed TV.
Mm-hmm.
And people
and
around.
Just hoping LSU has a pulse.
People around the country watch Alabama, LSU. It's two big brands. They've won a bunch of titles, the whole Saban thing, all that stuff. Does that game eventually fade? Yeah, probably. But it hadn't faded yet.
Big Ten does not have a rank versus rank that week. It's almost like they all kind of went in together a little bit. It's a little, just keeps. No. You get a week, we get a week. You get a week, we get a week.
Sure. It's conceivable.
Washington, Penn State, the best Big Ten game.
It's a solid game. But
Washington's not ranked preseason.
It doesn't hold up to any of the three SEC games.
It does not. No. And then week 12 is a bye week for Ole Miss. Texas, Arkansas coming out of the break.
See, this is the part that if you want to, I mean, nobody wants to hear this. I get it. They're pissed off. They're all upset there because two of their big SEC games, Ole Miss and Texas, are 11 a.m. kicks. And, yeah, they suck. I get it. But, no, they don't have the Grove, but they tailgate. So it's hard to
and they're getting SEC Network once or twice where it's like,
I mean, it just is what it is, right? And so there is a lesson here that, yeah, did the Blue Bloods get special treatment? Of course.
Tennessee, Georgia is a flex. LSU, Florida is a flex. And they've already said Missouri, South Carolina is an afternoon game. That's going to be an SEC Network game at 2:30.
Yeah, then the two that they're LSU, Florida, Tennessee, Georgia.
Yeah.
So, yeah, realistically, LSU, Florida
feels night.
It's probably going to be a night game. Tennessee, Georgia is probably going to be the afternoon ABC game.
And then Ole Miss in Florida ABC or ESPN coming out of game day, 11 o'clock in Gainesville. The interesting part there is that it seems like that's what Keith Carter was intimating in Jackson last night, that in exchange for moving the Egg Bowl to Friday,
which is what ABC wanted.
What ABC wanted, he got Ole Miss's game at 11 o'clock against Florida instead of a later time in the day. Because Lane has been very, very, very much about an 11 o'clock game the week before.
Because 2 years ago, when was it? I lose track of years at this point. When did Ole Miss go to Fayetteville? And it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When they went there and lost.
And got
that
it
game
such
was
late in
so
the night.
late.
And State had played an 11 a.m. game against East Tennessee State.
Yeah, Lane was pissed about a lot of things that night, and that was on the list of things.
Yes.
Was they should have played that game earlier in the day, in his opinion. So they're going to play this game earlier in the day and get an extra day.
It's good.
So it's a win.
Yeah, that's a negotiating win there. So they wanted that game later in the day, but I don't know what time or what they were going to do.
And so then you look at the rest of the schedule that day, the games that are attractive: Texas A&M at Auburn, potentially; Alabama at Oklahoma, almost certainly; Kentucky at Texas, possibly. So they flexed them all.
Yeah. And again, I can't read into this because they didn't want Ole Miss to play at 11. So I don't know who was going to get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some other home game actually is getting the later in day benefit. I'm using quotes.
Yeah.
Because Ole Miss wanted the 11 o'clock game and they gave it to you.
This way, Ole Miss is back in Oxford by 6, 7 o'clock that night.
Yeah. So it's possible that Alabama and Oklahoma was going to go at 11 right out of game day.
Sure.
We don't know who that was. No clue. But it wasn't going to be you. And then obviously rivalry weekend, you know that it's Friday, 2:30 on that one. They flexed a bunch of games. Everything's basically flexed except we know Arkansas, Missouri is an afternoon game that day on Saturday. And Georgia Tech play the third game of the day after Ole Miss and Mississippi State. There's an 11 a.m. game with somebody that morning. I don't remember who it is.
Gotcha.
Is it Georgia Tech?
I don't know.
No, they play it. Sorry, I just said they play at night. Who is it? Somebody plays earlier in the day, but I do not remember who it is.
And so to prove to you that this is numbers-based, the reason they wanted all the games off Thanksgiving is that the college games weren't getting good numbers on Thanksgiving Day. They were starting to get good numbers on Friday, and ABC said, but we don't want Arkansas, Missouri. That's not a good...
Not doing it for us.
Not doing it for us. Arkansas might have 7, 8 losses by that point. We don't want that game. Let's get one that has some juice to it. And there's Ole Miss and State. And on that Saturday, my guess is that here's what's interesting. Texas A&M, and Oklahoma LSU are probably games that they don't want to put up against each other, I'm guessing. You know, Tennessee Vanderbilt's going to be the early game on that Saturday. Arkansas Missouri is going to be the SEC Network game. I'm guessing the Iron Bowl's 2:30. Louisville at Kentucky is probably the SEC Network game. Oklahoma LSU is going to be on one, and Texas A&M is going to be on the other, going up against each other at the same time. They'll probably stagger them, start one at 6 and start one at 7, and that's part of the deal too, is that you have all this inventory now with 2 extra teams, and so it's very difficult to sort of, not sympathizing with them, but you're trying to maximize, and there's a lot of games you've got to get on a lot of networks.
Florida State and Clemson have the home games this year, so those are ACC games.
Yeah.
We don't have time or channels or anything for those 2 games yet. So I don't know.
Yeah, the Athletic is actually speculating that the afternoon game is going to be Oklahoma at LSU and that they're going to play the Iron Bowl at night.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it's their word, not mine.
Not yours.
I have not spoken to anyone.
Have you not?
About this.
The Big Ten schedule, they don't feel like they maximize very well. Like I'm just kind of scrolling through their weeks, and there's a lot of weeks where there's not much that I'm overly thrilled about. Now, from a ranking standpoint, it looks a little weird because Washington's not ranked, USC's not ranked. You know what I mean? Like you've got At least on the number, again, the numbers this thing is using.
Ben in the stream makes a point, and he's right. And this is the point I'm trying to get through to people. This is what should frustrate you. He's like, yeah, you're right. Ole Miss has done a fantastic job with night games, the drone shows and the light shows, but that's not on television. That's happening during commercial breaks. And so the people that are making the TV decisions, they don't really care that you're not getting that. They care about eyeballs nationally. That's what they're thinking about. That's it. Again, if you're going to the games, you're just free labor for them. They legitimately, you're the last people they care about because you're not watching. You're there.
They want you there to simply make it look like it's a good environment.
And you're there. That's it. In fact, you're doing some of the dirty work for them because they're speculating on which environments will come across best on television. And when you pay for, but I will say this in defense of Disney, ABC, ESPN, they pay an exorbitant price for these rights. That's why it's not on CBS anymore. And in exchange, they kind of get they get a lot of leverage. Like I told you yesterday, right? Someone comes to us and goes, pay you $2 million a year to sponsor the podcast. We'd probably call Craddock and he would say, congrats.
Yes.
And then they say, but on Tuesday and Wednesday, we want you to start the show at 2 a.m. And every Thursday, we want you to do 30 minutes with a spring sport coach. And even when we go, yeah, but that doesn't, they don't like that. We still end up doing it. We'd be kicking off at 2 a.m.
Beholden to it.
It is what it is. Is that good for fans? No, it's unfortunate for fans.
Is it TV? Is it national fan perception? I don't know. Like your frustration on some of this is it takes so long to convince people of something different. We just have things in our head that by God we believe to be true, and they remain true even past the point of expiration.
Mm-hmm.
And you've gotten there in a lot of ways. I'm talking about you as a program. Ole Miss has gotten there in a lot of ways.
Yeah. But you are in a league with some really big brands.
Mm-hmm.
And you just added 2 big brands
that they're massaging and placating to an extent this year.
To a degree.
Mm-hmm.
People watch Texas.
Yeah.
There aren't 5 brands bigger than Texas. I didn't say programs better than.
Yeah.
I said brands bigger than.
Yeah.
There aren't 5 brands bigger than Texas. And so if you're ABC, you want that brand.
It's all going to be okay. You're going to fill the stadium for your home games. Environments have been good at 11. I told Neal, I'm a little different because if you gave me the choice, especially with all the nervousness, I think is the word, going in with the season, I'd rather play that bad boy at 11, get the win in my pocket, and go enjoy football the rest of the day. I get that's a different psyche, but I think I would. I'm just, it's kind of how I'm wired.
Their response to that would be, you don't tailgate.
And you're right.
And it's true. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, Caroline was upset yesterday. She's not going to football games. She's mad that they lost tailgates. I get it. I understand. 100%. Apparently, Jerry West, the logo. Jerry West, the Hall of Fame player, Hall of Fame executive.
Mm-hmm.
As Adrian Wojnarowski writes, Jerry West lived a profound basketball and American life, iconic as a player, executive, and looming figure in the history of the game. He was an MVP, a champion, a gold medalist, a dynasty builder, and literally the league's logo. His loss leaves a massive void.
Passed away this morning at the age of 86. The Clippers announced. Yeah.
Literally the logo.
Literally.
Had an incredible career.
How'd that come about?
I don't. I've read about it before, but I can't recall exactly how that happened.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know either. No clue.
Passed away peacefully this morning at the age of 86. His wife, Karen, was by his side. Made one of the biggest trades in NBA history. Traded with the Charlotte Hornets for the rights to Kobe Bryant. That worked out.
That wasn't a bad move. Got it done, didn't it?
Got it done.
Yeah, not bad. God, the Hornets with Kobe. What does that look?
Different.
What does that look like in a lot of different ways there?
Won the NBA title in 1972, NBA Finals MVP in 1969, a 14-time All-Star, 12-time All-NBA team, 5-time All-Defensive team, was on the NBA anniversary team, 35th, 50th, and 75th, and an 8-time NBA champion as an executive. So, yeah, traded Vlade Divac.
Is what it was.
Vlade Divac and something, I think, in a pick or whatever, to the Hornets for Kobe.
Really?
Kobe was drafted by the Hornets,
Yeah.
and then traded that night to the Lakers.
Did he want out or anything? Was there any like football type movement from his side?
It seems like if I remember correctly, he wanted to go to LA, but I don't know that he was.
He wasn't refusing to play for Charlotte.
Not that,
to the best
not that I
knowledge.
recall.
Okay. Little Ole Miss golf news, by the way. Jackson Suber with a good day yesterday. John Rahm pulled out of the U.S. Open, and Jackson Suber, the former Ole Miss golfer, is in his place. So he will play with Jordan Spieth and Hideki Matsuyama the first 2 days of the U.S. Open at Pinehurst, where people are very frustrated with some of the greens and the quickness, and apparently there's no rain coming to help over the next few days, so you might get the carnage that you're wanting if you want the really high scores and the craziness that sometimes surrounds the U.S. Open. So there's that. So, all right, we'll pass that along. We'll go to some other stuff in a second. First, Prime Shrimp, primeshrimp.com. They got 8 different flavors available for you. Soy ginger is their most recent option. It's great with hibachi, proteins, vegetables, rice, and more. Also, they make it easy on you. They deliver it directly to your door. It's a restaurant-quality shrimp from the New Orleans-based company. Freezer to plate, fewer than 10 minutes, and ready to go. Great for protein snacks throughout the day, lunches, dinners when you got stuff going on. Kids are busy. Let them help you, and we'll make it a little cheaper along the way as well. Use code RG with primeshrimp.com. 25% off when you buy 5 pouches or more. That's code RG at primeshrimp.com.
We're also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you're planning a trip that you want to get some extra attention so that it creates a lifetime of unique memories, I suggest you get in touch with John. Give him some parameters. Give him a budget. He's going to give options to you that you're going to have a hard time finding on your own. 901-494-3387 or send him an email, j.edwards@regencytravel.net. Oxford's newest Greek restaurant on the square, Opa, is the perfect place to plan your company dinner, your festive party event, maybe even your Christmas party. They can accommodate up to 200 guests, fabulous food, great craft libations as well. For booking information, for catering information, call Jeannie, 601-421-7147. We're also brought to you by Service Specialist Staffing and Recruiting Agency. They've been connecting great job opportunities to candidates since 1967. If you're on the job hunt, they can help you pretty much across the board. And if your company is looking to hire quality, hard-to-find talent, Service Specialists can help you as well. It's always free for the candidate. And for a company, payment of service is solely contingent on if you decide to hire a candidate that they send. You've got nothing to lose, so give Will, Sydney, or Kelsey a call. 601-573-9242 or check out their new and improved website, servicespecialistltd.com. Get the beautiful, healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself at corinthdental.com. Are you a displaced corporate executive wanting to put your career in your own hands? Are you an experienced entrepreneur looking to diversify? Either way, Andy Ludicky can help. He owns multiple franchises and businesses and uses his expertise to help others find their American dream through a very thorough and free consultation process. So call Andy, put your life and your career in your own hands. It's 100% free. You've got nothing to lose. MyPerfectFranchise.net, Andy at MyPerfectFranchise.net, or 404-973-9901.
I'll give you 3 strikes on missed names. Let's play a little game. Top 10 NFL players by merchandise sales for this year to date.
Ooh. Top 10 NFL players.
There's one absence I'm surprised by, and there's a couple I would never have gotten, but when I see the names, I go, okay, that makes sense.
So this is so far this calendar year?
That is my understanding to date, yes.
Okay. Harrison Butker?
That is incorrect.
Oh, wow. All right, Travis Kelce.
That was a good guess, though. I didn't even think about that. Yes, number 4.
Okay. Let's see. Patrick Mahomes.
Number 3.
Quarterback of the CJ Stroud.
Incorrect.
Oh, okay.
He was one of 2 quarterbacks not on the list. That surprised me.
Joe Burrow.
Yes, number 7.
I'm gonna try not to overthink this. Jalen Hurts.
Yes, number 1.
Really?
Number 1.
How about that?
You are missing 2 quarterbacks.
Okay, that's what I was thinking quarterbacks before I even go anywhere else.
It's a dangerous spot, though, because there's another quarterback that I would have thought that's not on the list.
Quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson?
It's incorrect. Not on the top 10.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I'll go ahead and tell you Josh Allen is not on the top 10 either. But there are 2 quarterbacks.
Who the hell is?
You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, number 6.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Brock Purdy, number 8.
I wouldn't have gotten that one.
Yep.
Christian McCaffrey?
Number 5. You're missing 2, 9, and 10.
Jamar Chase?
No, but there is a wide receiver. 1.
The Minnesota guy.
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
That is correct. Number 10. You are missing number 2. Sorry, and number 9.
2 and 9.
Yep.
These are they defensive guys?
1 is.
One's a defensive guy.
Yes. Big franchise.
Aaron Donald?
No. Michael Parsons.
Oh.
Number 9.
Makes sense.
And then number 2. Doesn't even play.
JJ Watt?
Nope. Power of media.
Oh, Colin Kaepernick.
Jason Kelsey.
Oh.
Jason Kelsey, number 2 in merchandise sales.
Wow.
1 to 10, Jalen Hurts, Jason Kelsey, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Christian McCaffrey, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, Brock Purdy, Michael Parsons, and Justin Jefferson.
How about that?
Yes.
Well, Jason Kelsey's an example of when they say, hey, let's do a documentary on you, and you say yes, and it comes across well, you really win.
Stat, it's connection to the Swift Kelsey stuff.
It's the podcast.
It's the podcast. They've done a hell of a job.
It's really good.
It's all those things that have come together. You are you out on the hot dog eating competition now that Joey Chestnut's not involved? Hurts ratings, right?
Yeah.
Because, I want to see greatness. I don't want to see average.
No, and after watching him at Vaught Hemingway,
that's what I mean.
I was like, I probably would have watched, and I probably won't now.
Joey Chestnut has been banned from the Nathan's hot dog eating competition on Coney Island on July 4th because he entered into a brand agreement with another hot dog brand.
It's
apparently.
a vegan brand, though, right?
It's impossible. It's the Beyond Meat. Yeah, it's the non-meat
Okay, so this
thing.
is stupid on their part because if you're going to the grocery store to buy Nathan's hot dogs, you're not going to go, you know what we're going to do today? We're going to have the not meat ones. And if you're going to the grocery store to buy the not meat ones, you're not going to go, nope, you know what? I've changed my mind. I am gonna go. Let's see. Oscar Mayer. If he was doing that, I'd be like, okay, well, maybe.
I had somebody making this exact argument to me yesterday when I brought it up. That if you do ballpark, okay, like
I guess,
but even so, you're still cutting your nose off to spite your face.
You
He's
look
not getting
petty.
an agreement with you, and more people are going to watch your product because of him.
And if you watch this,
and he says the contract's different, that shouldn't have been the way it worked. They've been arguing about this.
I'm with Joey.
They are the same people that in 2010, for some reason similar to this, I don't remember what it was, they kicked Kobayashi out in 2010 and banned him. So the last two stars of the hot dog eating competition have both been banned at different points of their careers or tenures or past champions or whatnot. I mean, who the hell's the last person to win that's not Kobayashi or Joey Chestnut? You don't have this in your bag?
I struggled with your NFL question. I'm going to really struggle here. I mean, I don't know.
You don't have this one?
I wouldn't begin to even have a guess.
Chestnut's won 16 of the last 17.
Okay.
Impossible Foods, a plant-based version of a hot dog.
This is short-sighted stupidity.
Yeah, I mean, it is the point that you made, other people have made, is that, hey, if I'm at the grocery store and they don't have Nathan's, you're not going to the fake stuff.
No, I'm going to
grab the ballpark.
Oscar Mayer or, whatever. When was the last time you bought hot dogs?
Oh, yeah. I got some from LB's at the end of the year last year because those were real.
When was the last time you bought?
I would assume for some cookout that involved the kids, but I don't remember. Like probably a holiday, like last 4th of July or something, when you were just getting stuff for grilling and kids and whatnot. I don't mind a really good hot dog though. I'm not gonna make fun. Like I have no issue with a really, really good hot dog.
No, I actually like
throw some mustard and some pickles and maybe a little chopped onion on there.
Yeah, mine's chili mustard and the chopped.
Oh, you want the chili one?
Chopped onion, and if you
chili or chilies?
No, like the chili,
like actual chili.
And then if you want to throw some, or if you want to take the chili off and put some jalapeno on, the pickled jalapeno with some onion and mustard, totally in. Hate myself afterwards, but in.
Hate yourself. You haven't had a hot dog in a while?
Oh, it's been years.
Has it really?
Yeah. I mean, probably 7, 8 years.
Are you a fan of like Chicago style hot dogs?
They put too much. I don't like tomatoes and stuff on it.
Yeah, I don't eat tomatoes at all. So, that's my thing. Yeah. Coney hot dog eating champions. Here, real quick. You guys are hanging with us at this point. It is June 12th, and we're talking about hot dogs. I was trying to find a list. Yeah, here we go. All right. History. Just give me the results. All right, 23. Yeah, Chestnut. I mean, wow. Really is kind of a dynasty here, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Matt Stoney won in 2016. Okay. 62 to Joey 60. That's probably pretty good TV coming down the stretch.
That probably was good TV.
Matt Stoney.
Although that TV can turn your stomach now.
Matt Stoney, a very popular YouTube eater for people that watch that kind of thing. Yeah, so I mean, wasn't a fluke. That's a real dude there. You can't fluke eating competitions. You're either good at that or you aren't. Cinderella has no shot in that race.
No.
That's
probably like marathon, like, right? I mean, if you're not just popping up off the street and going, you know what, I'll run 26.2. Any more than you're popping up and going, I'll eat 60 hot dogs in 10 minutes. No, you probably won't, champ.
It's a really good How I Met Your Mother episode on that. It's one of the characters goes, I don't understand. Step one, you start running. You don't stop. It's like, no, that's not
it. Nope.
So the last person other than Stoney, Chestnut, and Kobayashi was Kazutoyo Arai, who only ate 25 and 1/8 to win in 2000. That's actually the more incredible part of this is how better they got so quickly.
Yeah.
We went from 21 and a half in 99 to 60 whatever, 70 whatever it is now. 3 times.
Yeah.
Plus.
It's insane.
I don't almost to the point of I don't understand. Like, I don't even really comprehend that at that point. Yes, Joey will have to resort to the slug burger competition in Corinth. He has done that.
What's the slug burger?
It's like got breading stuff around it. You ever had a slug burger?
No.
That's exactly how they make them, because I do not know exactly how you make them. Yeah, it's a pan fried burger with breadcrumbs, seasoning, and mustard and pickle garnish.
Oh,
Yeah, I knew it had
okay.
a breading, but I didn't know
Okay.
exactly how it was. Yeah, ground meat, usually pork, and sometimes beef, flour, soy grits, or another extender, and then topped with mustard, pickle.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Corinth is famous for those?
Oh yeah, it's kind of that's
Kind of their thing?
Yeah, it's kind of their thing.
Okay.
Yeah. The World Slug Burger Eating Championship ran from 2012 to 2016. Chestnut won it with I don't know how long the time limit was, but he ate 41 of them to win in 2016. 41 of any kind of burger. I'm kind of like I'm a little thrown off.
So they don't do that anymore. That's too bad.
It doesn't appear they do that anymore. No. Would you like to enter?
No.
That's what you and Siski could do, is have to enter a bunch of eating competitions around.
Oh my God.
That's what you could do.
That would be funny.
Apple pie eating competition.
He would probably be pretty good at it.
You think so?
Yeah. He would probably be really good. You excited for his experiment tonight?
I'm nervous about technical parts of everything. I'll be honest. I will be happy when it's over. I'm not overly through. Like right now, I'm very nervous as the producer that we just get through it. But yeah, I think it's fun. I think
talking about the stream or the audio or what?
Both.
Okay.
Stream. Well, you and I are both this way. Like we both. Like Jeffrey was so valuable for us because both of us are terrified by operating cameras.
Yes.
Like for anybody in the podcast that doesn't understand this, Neal and I are both terrified of screwing up video.
Yes.
So anything that is video outside of the norm makes me highly uncomfortable. So that is that's where my crux is at this point.
I understand.
That's kind of where we're sitting.
I can totally relate to that.
That's the deal. I think I mentioned Paul Maneri's the new coach of South Carolina.
You did.
Okay, I don't remember if I did that or not.
That was very surprising to everyone,
including Carolina media, who said they had zero idea at that point. It feels like Ray hiring a buddy and hoping he gets the magic back.
Yeah.
Had been turned down multiple times.
Well, that's what it told me, is that they got a lot of no's.
They thought Dan was going to say yes. I think everyone was pretty shocked when McDonald said no.
Self-included.
You got to reset. You'd be in the SEC.
But it tells you something about, like, this is where this is going. You and I have not talked about this. We won't spend a lot of time on it here. And you know more about this than I do. But I know just enough about this to kind of be dangerous. If you're trying to build your team through the portal, it's really expensive right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you might not be able to do it. Like, you literally just might not have enough money to do it.
For the budgets of the teams, even 3 through 10 nationally in NIL, if you go to the really high-ticket players, you're going to have a hard time filling in 5-6 other spots with competent SEC, ACC-type players at that point. That's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, I mean,
and there's a couple positions right now that are really low, like catcher, and Ole Miss has to have one. They've got Daniel Jackson coming in this week, the freshman from Wofford. Because he has multiple years of eligibility remaining, he might be the number one player in the portal because of availability.
He's got lots of suitors.
Yeah, it's Florida State, Georgia, Alabama, maybe Mississippi State, and Ole Miss.
I think that's right.
I think that's right off the top of my head. I think he's been to Florida State already. He's either at Georgia now. He's going to Ole Miss, whatever. But his price tag has never been higher because of the year that he's in where he doesn't have a lot of competition at catcher. It just isn't there. So you probably going to have to overpay relative to what you would have had to pay in a previous year for him.
I was given the grocery store analogy yesterday. You've got $100 to go to the grocery store, and you've got to get these 12 items. You're going to have to pinch pennies in some spots to get it done.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard. I mean, and maybe what happened is people looked at South Carolina and said, you know what, as good as it is, it's not good enough.
That's what I was told. I was told that Dan was which it's a little bit ironic, but it shows loyalty, and baseball coaches don't move much because it's not like Louisville's in a great spot in the ACC.
Right.
But South Carolina's NIL relative to the rest of the league was not at a spot that he felt comfortable with. Mid pack, had a lot of holes. You're in a recruiting area with Clemson, Florida, Georgia.
I mean, think about that. If I told you 4 years ago that South Carolina would have a hard time hiring a baseball coach.
Yeah. Getting turned down by Dan, to some extent getting turned down by Cliff. I don't know exactly how far that went out, but somewhere along those lines. I know they reached out. I know they did whatever.
I knew when I said $100, I wasn't giving enough for groceries. That's incredible. Like $100 buys like 4 things at the grocery store now.
Oh, the
grocery prices are insane. There's no bigger disconnect, not to get political, because this isn't even political. It's just real. There's no bigger disconnect than the current administration telling people that you've never done better, and those people then going to the grocery store and going, no, you don't get it. And the true answer to that, and this is about both political parties, is that the people that are making these decisions, they never go to the store.
No.
They have no idea what anything costs.
They're definitely not going to the store and going, okay, I got to feed a family of 4 for 2 weeks at $175 or whatever.
If you told me that I could be the czar of America for like a week and I got to install a bunch of things, the first thing I would do would be term limits.
Term limits?
Term limits.
Yeah.
Across the board. That would help eliminate uniparty.
Yeah, sure.
And it would get some people in Washington who actually have lived in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you have a D by your name or an R by your name. If you're a career politician, you have no idea what the real world's like.
Unless as time goes, as you stay in and the whole deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the more you're up there and you're insulated from the real world, you have no idea what it looks like to go to the grocery store in Batesville, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
To go to the Piggly Wiggly in Batesville, Mississippi and shop. You have no freaking idea what anything costs. It would actually be a fun game to put 4 Democrats and 4 Republicans on like some thing where they have to guess and almost do a Price is Right kind of
hold up the gallon of milk and go,
what does this cost?
Yeah.
It'd be wild to watch how utterly clueless at least 6 of the 8 were.
Yeah, I'm with you.
My second thing is I'd eliminate the federal income tax.
Yeah.
Kill it.
That's it. Yeah.
Have a national sales tax, a consumption tax.
Okay. Neal McCready, 2028, ladies and gentlemen. Got 4 years here to get going. Podcast brought to you by AnySpark and service people across your communities. 2 packages, the Ignite, the 100 Mbps, or the Blaze, the 1 gig that powers the Clark Ford studio. Your hometown team bringing you world-class broadband. That's AnySpark.com, 662-238-3159. Phone service, parental controls, network security, wireless mesh extender for those who need extra help, and more. Again, that's 662-238-3159.
Southern Traditions Farm is a 68-acre, 32-stall upscale equestrian training and boarding facility in Canton, Mississippi. 2 sand rings, a grass ring, miles of wooded trails, whole lot offered at Southern Traditions Farm. Horseback riding offerings from beginner lessons to advanced to being able to compete in nationally recognized competitions. It's also a fantastic venue for corporate outings, events, that type thing. So get in touch with them on Facebook or Instagram at Southern Traditions Farm. I have a mailbag to you here in a little bit, not far away from being done. It's brought to you by Art Hayes, Sotheby's International Realty. Are you thinking of making a move? Put the power of Sotheby's International Realty to work for you as a licensed agent with Sotheby's International Realty and a supporter of all things Ole Miss. Art can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously. So call and ask Art how. 612-805-5929 or email him at arthur.hayes@lakesmn.com.
You excited to get to the new Buc-ee's in Lino, Texas, or wherever it is, the largest one ever built. Largest convenience store ever. Luling, Texas. Sorry. Luling, Texas.
How about that? I do like.
It's along the San Marcos River, apparently.
Okay.
75,000 plus square feet.
Wow.
120 gas pumps.
That's a lot of jerky.
120 gas pumps.
Yeah.
Beaver nuggets for all. Ready to go.
Their brisket sandwiches do look good.
Notice you said look, not taste.
I've not had one. I'm not against them. I think Caroline had one.
Apparently their smoked turkey is really good too.
I'm a big fan.
I know it's less.
I'm a big fan of smoked turkey.
Yeah, I am too. Paul Skeens yesterday.
Dude.
Dominated the Cardinals, got a standing ovation because best fans of baseball are obviously going to compliment the opponent.
They invented baseball.
They're in St. Louis.
They invented professional
We
baseball.
ought to get a convention that's nothing but St. Louis Cardinals and Mississippi State fans together. And they just get to go and share tips and tricks.
You want to torture me?
and
Make
celebrate.
me go to that convention. There you go. That would do it.
Oh, God. Would this Cardinals fan convention be one of your...
That would be funny.
That actually might be a really good punishment.
That would be really funny.
You have to go hang out with the Cardinal, whatever their version of CubsCon or whatever it is.
Yeah.
For the week.
God. That's funny.
That or a Texas A&M freshman orientation.
I'd have to find some kid to come with me, right?
Probably. It would be pretty creepy otherwise.
Yeah.
I have questions there.
Otherwise, they'd think I was running for Congress.
Skeens through 6 starts, 3-0, 33.1 innings pitched, 46 Ks, 9 earned runs allowed. If his stats were enough to qualify, he'd have the 10th best ERA in the majors, 2.43 currently.
Yeah.
And his 12.5 strikeouts per 9 would rank first at the moment. A lot of lofty territory when you start trying to compare through 6 starts.
He's throwing, on average, a little over 100 miles per hour on his fastball.
Yes. His 99th pitch was 100 miles an hour yesterday.
So you're up at the plate. And again, these are guys that are good enough to carry a wooden stick to the plate in a major league game. And they're having to get dialed up for 101. And he breaks off that 89-mile-an-hour slider. And he's now started to throw a curveball. Did you see the tunneling thing on him? He threw an 85-mile-an-hour curve and a 101-mile-an-hour fastball. And the ball, 10 feet from the plate,
looked the same.
Is exactly the same ball.
Yeah.
So you have to guess fastball.
If you're in the crowd and go, "What are you doing, you idiot? Why did you not hit it?" That's why he didn't hit it.
He didn't hit it because he thought it was a fastball, and then it dropped 6 feet.
Yeah.
And he just goes, screw it. I mean, guys are walking to the dugouts going,
You're guessing and hoping you guess right, and then even if you do guess right, it's still hard to hit.
Well, even then, yeah, because his fastball has movement. And, I mean, you hit that fastball off your hands, you will feel that for a week.
Yeah. He threw 6 scoreless with 8 Ks last night against the Cards. I mean, we're talking about he's a better version of Steven Strasburg through his early starts. That's kind of where everybody goes in their heads. Jose Fernandez start to his career was close. Noah Syndergaard. I mean, those are the comps at this point.
And he's the whole deal. Like the Pirates have him and Jared Jones. I mean, they're not far away.
Well, there's a lot of talk that they're actually going to buy.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
They should wait.
They should stay calm.
Be patient.
Stay calm.
Do what the Orioles did. We're just going to let it sit.
Yeah,
I get it.
One more year.
Yeah. Because you're in a Central that
sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's there.
Milwaukee's a good team.
In a year, it'll be there.
The Cubs suck. The Cardinals suck. The Reds should be better than they are, but they're not very good. You're right there. And Milwaukee's going to have a hard time keeping this up.
Yeah, Skeens fanned Shohei on 3 fastballs, and then Shohei hit one out the next at bat.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was just good theater. Like, it was just fun. Yeah, it wasn't...
Great on great. And Skeens said as much afterwards. He goes, when you pitch to guys like that, it's going to happen.
Yeah. They get to hit, too.
Oh, and Shohei can really hit. That is one talented dude.
Dallas going to win Game 3.
Well,
Porzingis out, probably.
This Porzingis thing is interesting.
If he's out for the series, they have a chance to come back?
A slight chance. Kyrie's got to play much better.
Okay.
Boston's still really deep.
Okay.
Boston's depth of roster shows here.
Okay.
But no, look, I mean, if Porzingis isn't there,
It went from 0 chance to a small chance.
Yeah, to 10. Win tonight, win game 4, and you put the pressure back on Boston. Lose one of these next 2 games, and it's over.
Oh, well, yeah. Has to be 2-2 headed back to TD Garden.
Will be interesting to see who all is at Jimmy Carter's funeral.
Oh.
Will Trump be invited to Jimmy Carter's funeral?
I mean,
Obama will be there. Biden will be there. George W. Bush will be there.
I mean,
would they even invite Trump?
Has to be invited, right?
I mean, I would think, and if he's invited, I would think he would attend.
Hmm. 99?
Is that how old he is?
Think so?
Yeah.
That sounds right
Does
for some reason.
Skeens make the All-Star team? Yeah, he'll make the All-Star team.
Because they can vote anybody on. You don't need anything.
If he doesn't, it's the stupidest thing baseball's done in a long time.
Yeah.
Because he's doing all this, and I'm not sure who outside of Pirates fans are really noticing.
Yeah, the finals have 0 buzz. You're right. For 2 teams that 2 markets, all that stuff, just nothing.
Did you keep up with the Grind mentions it? Did you keep up with the Young Thug?
No, we'll have to pick back that up tomorrow. I missed it. Yeah. Do we know what happened yesterday?
Well, yeah. The attorney who has been charged with contempt has an attorney representing him.
Okay.
And she went after the judge, and the judge basically exposed his complete lack of understanding of the law. He was talking about civil contempt, and she was like, but you're charging him with criminal contempt. You can't have it both ways. And the judge is like, I just want to know who. I'll discharge the contempt charge. I need to know who said it. And she's like, but you were part of it. You were a witness. It can't be ex parte.
So he's still avoiding the fact that he's in the wrong.
Oh,
he's just throwing a tantrum because he doesn't know who told.
In likelihood, committed a crime.
Wow.
It's wild.
Like I say, they had a murder case on Court TV yesterday, but it wasn't this one. This is what I'm.
So Grind says the snitch's name is YSL Woody, and the judge took him back into chambers to get him to flip back to testifying against Young Thug.
The judge did.
I'm taking Grind's word for it.
Yeah, sure.
But there's a lot. I was busy yesterday, but I did follow it some. It's crazy.
How is the judge not fired or whatever they do to judges?
I guess because he's a voted-in judge in Fulton County.
So you can just make the rules up as you go?
Break the laws as you go. He doesn't even know the law.
Both attorneys told the judge it should be a mistrial because of what he did. Yes, that's correct. That sounds logical and basis to me.
Yeah, I mean, this case, if there's
it's so thrown out.
It's so thrown out. Yeah. I mean, like the appellate court right now is going, just here.
Can we just get a ruling so then you give it to us?
That's like, and so she's asking for a hearing. Steele's attorney is asking for a hearing, and he won't grant the hearing because he'd have to be a witness at the hearing. So you have to recuse yourself from this case. You can no longer be the impartial judge.
Right. Okay. Fun times. Jeez. Yes, another court will have to intervene eventually whenever rulings come down and decision gets made and whatnot. So, all right, I'll post the details tonight on the board. Need to get a couple of things done for that. Try to have some fun with you guys back in the morning with Jeffrey. RebelGrove.com in the meantime as well. So head on over. News there, stuff going on. Discuss the schedule. So there's plenty of threads there to take part in that, no matter what your opinion is. And we'll be back with you very soon. Take care. Have a good day. Talk tonight.